Northern Lights. Iceland is one of the best places in the world to see the Northern Lights. The lights are visible from September to April, but the best time to see them is during the equinoxes. Around March and September. Iceland is one of the best places in the world to see the aurora borealis, also known as the Northern Lights. Here, at 65 degrees north on the southern edge of the Arctic Circle, you can see auroras almost every night and in warmer temperatures than many other viewing locations around the world. The Northern Lights are caused by electrically charged particles from the sun smashing into Earth's magnetic field. This solar wind is funneled down to the magnetic poles of the northern and southern hemispheres, creating a horseshoe shape of excited green, red, and blue particles that swivel and shapeshift over the Arctic Circle, and they happen constantly. All you need is darkness and cloud-free skies to see them. Iceland's most famous natural wonders: Gullfoss Waterfall, Geyser Geothermal Area, and Ingvellir National Park. Gullfoss Waterfall. This may be the first stop on your Golden Circle itinerary, the Great and Golden Waterfall of the South. It's a sight to behold. Gullfoss is one of the most impressive waterfalls in Iceland, although they all have their own charm. Here the mighty river Hvida makes its way through the rocky landscape and falls 32 meters, 105 feet, into the narrow canyon below. The deep canyon carves the landscape and makes for otherworldly photos. It is 70 meters, 230 feet, deep and almost 3 kilometers, 1.9 miles, long. To admire it in all its splendor, follow the footpath from the parking area to the viewing platform. On a sunny day, you may notice the rainbows created by the mist of the powerful fall. Geyser. A bit further along the way, you'll find yourself at the Great Geyser area in the Hakadalur Valley. This ancient geyser was, in fact, the first ever recorded in Icelandic literature back in 1294. This was following an eruption from Mount Hekla that ignited the fiery landscape. If you didn't know about geysers, they are hot springs that are under pressure and erupt with columns of hot water and steam. This geothermal phenomenon occurs because of a hole that runs all the way into the Earth's crust. Geyser is dormant these days, but you'll surely catch its neighbor Stråkr spurting water every 5 to 10 minutes or so. It is now the main attraction of this geothermal area. You'll find other smaller springs bubbling nearby. Ingvellir National Park. Finally, you'll arrive at the centerpiece of the Golden Circle, Thingvellir National Park. Its stunning landscape of valleys, steep rock walls, and rivers is only but one reason why it's famous. Ingvellir was also inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2004 for its outstanding universal value and historical significance. In the 10th century, the first parliament to represent all Icelanders was founded here. It is also considered the world's oldest parliament. Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon. This glacier lagoon is one of Iceland's most iconic natural attractions. It's a stunning sight to see, with icebergs of all shapes and sizes floating in the milky blue water. Jökulsárlón is a glacial lagoon by the Ring Road and was recently designated as a part of Vatnajökull National Park. Its still blue waters are a sight not to be missed, as it is dotted with icebergs from the edge of Breiðamerkurjökull, a part of the Vatnajökull Glacier. The lagoon flows through a narrow gateway into the Atlantic Ocean, leaving the spectacular sight of the large chunks of ice on the black sandy beach. In wintertime, the fish-filled lagoon hosts a number of seals, which visit the lagoon for an easy meal. Year-round curious seals can be seen basking on the blue-tinted icebergs. The lagoon is accessible from the beach all year round, and so is the cafe on the banks of Jökulsárlón. For hikers, a marked hiking trail between Jökulsárlón and Fjallsárlón is recommended as a scenic trip through unforgettable surroundings. During the summer, the national park offers interpretive tours with a ranger. Check for information on the park homepage or social media. A word of warning: don't jump onto the ice floating in the lagoon. Some tourists think it's okay to do it, but it is dangerous to play, and the ice can capsize, leaving you stuck beneath it in the ice-cold water. So let's be very careful here. Please heed the advice of the locals and never step on the ice in the lagoon. Skogafoss. These two waterfalls are located close to each other on Iceland's south coast. Seljalandsfoss is a waterfall that you can walk behind, while Skogafoss is a powerful waterfall that drops over 60 meters, 200 feet. Along the south coast of Iceland, towards the end of our Ring Road tour, we visited some extraordinary waterfalls. There were the two big hits Skogafoss and Seljalandsfoss, and a special secret, Gulljufrabui. These waterfalls were different from the ones we saw up north like Dettifoss or Gofoss. Those waterfalls were humongous, stretching for miles across cracks in the land. In the south, the land is a little softer, and the mountains a little lower. The crowd of tourists is gathered in front of the Skogafoss waterfall in Iceland. Although there are always people at the Skogafoss waterfall, we were so lucky with both the great weather and the relative lack of crowds. Waterfalls in Iceland south versus the north. Here, the waterfalls are still magnificent, beautiful things to behold, but they're different. Up in the north, we felt like we had indeed come to the beginning of the world. To a time when the land was still forming. A time where it seemed it would be many eons before it found its final shape. Here, it was as if we were transported to a place that had been shaped by magical creatures. Lake Mævin. This lake is located in the north of Iceland and is known for its volcanic activity. There are several craters and lava fields in the area, as well as a number of hot springs and mud pools. North Iceland is home to the beautiful lake region of Mævin. With an area of 36.5 square kilometers, Mævin is Iceland's fourth largest body of water, although its scale is just one of the qualities that draw guests throughout the year. It is also home to some incredible geological features, a wealth of flora and fauna, and it is surrounded by many unbelievable sights. After all, the lake is one of the highlights of the Diamond Circle, a popular travel route in the north of Iceland. Only one very small town can be found in the Lake Mævin area, called Reykjavik. Here you will find basic amenities such as a gas station, bank, mini supermarket, healthcare center, school, swimming pool and a hotel. Various cafes, restaurants and guest houses are also scattered along the banks of the lake and by some of the main attractions, and there are campsites in the area. From Reykjavik, it takes about 6 to 7 hours to drive to the village of Reykjavik in good conditions. During winter, that could take longer, depending on the weather, but the ring road that connects the two settlements should still be open. Lagoon. This geothermal spa is located in a lava field in the Reykjanes Peninsula. The water is milky blue and is said to have healing properties. It's a popular tourist destination and can get crowded, but it's definitely worth a visit. Visiting the Blue Lagoon Iceland is a must for anyone visiting this awesome adventure destination. The Blue Lagoon is the most popular tourist attraction in Iceland. It seems like nearly every traveler who visits Iceland works a trip to the famous Blue Lagoon into their itinerary. And being the most popular destination, there are plenty of guides and how-tos for the Blue Lagoon Iceland on the internet. But to be honest, I was surprised by how many things I didn't know. This geothermal spa is a lot more than meets the eye. Between the warm water and convivial atmosphere, this might be one of the most memorable stops on your Iceland trip.